All right, folks. We're back again. Mark's messing around with the music. I can't find a place to go and urinate. But I gotta tell you, you're back at what was called the off night. And that's what all comics know about. The off night. Bad music, strange locations, go to the bathroom, and wild music. But here tonight, your guest, your host, it's gonna be a wild night. I can feel it. Welcome, Mark Sweetman.
Hey! It's Mark Sweetman, your host, and my sidekick, Andy Jensen.
You got it. We're here. We're here.
Yeah. And
I'm in downtown Pontiac, and it's Western Ghost Town. There's very little down here. A couple of interesting places. You know, the Strand Theater is good.
Downtown Pontiac is a ghost.
There's one bar that was open, and it's a rainbow bar. So.
All right. Well, you don't have a great connection wherever you are, because. Can I tell you something, Andy? Well, we're getting Sam Greenfield quality sound from you. So wherever you're at, you're not in a good antenna situation. So.
All right.
But anyway. But you know what? Even if we don't get you and we have to cut you out, we've got Jason Grant with us tonight. So we've got an Andy Jensen replacement in Jason Grant. And
what?
Yep,
wait a minute.
He's got beard.
Nice guy. They're replacing the nice guy. All right.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Well, let's see how good your sound is. If he has better sound, I'm going to have to just cut you out and put Jason in your place. So, hey, why don't I'm going to take you down, introduce our other guests, and then I'll bring you back up and we'll see how you sound then. Hopefully you'll be in a better antenna spot. Sound good?
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Thanks for the intro, buddy. All right. That was Andy Jensen, our normal MC, host, announcer, roadman. He always gives us road stuff, and it's always funny. But apparently he's not at home, so he's not using his Wi-Fi. He's using his phone's antenna, and he's in Pontiac and not in a very good spot. So Pontiac, my birthplace. That's where I was born. And I can tell you it's a shithole. All right. Right now I want to bring back a guy that I wanted to bring him back first because we had some audio troubles with him before we went on, and I hope we got that all cleared up. So here's our regular from New York City, bon vivant, man about town, the Manhattan man himself. Here is Sam Greenfield, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
I love Sam.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm telling you, no one lip syncs like Sammy G.
I had a character named Hacky McGee. It was just going to do hack material.
Oh, God.
Isn't that a great name?
So I had a choice last night. A colonoscopy or watch the Suns basketball game.
And?
My ass is killing me. Everyone, I was watching, pardon the interruption, with Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. And Wilbon said he got about 25 texts from Hall of Fame basketball players.
Really?
During that game saying, what the hell is happening? This can't be. Because you had a game where the team that was getting killed had the most wins of any team in the NBA this year.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, every game they had won up to that time in the playoffs, they won by an average of 19 points. And when I was watching the game, I just turned it on. It was 15-5 Dallas. And I thought to myself, well, that doesn't mean anything. It's the game is like 2 minutes old.
Right.
They'll come back.
Right.
They scored 27 points in the first half. I've never seen a team fall apart like that. Ever.
They were the hot team last year, but I don't think they're expected to win it this year, are they? It's going to be either the Warriors or the Grizzlies, probably.
No, they were expected to be in there because they had won the most games in the NBA.
The Suns did this year?
Yeah, 65 games.
See what happens when you're a Pistons fan? You're really not paying attention until we're playing the playoffs.
I'm a Wizards fan. You get no pity from me.
Oh man, I tell you what, between the Wizards, the Nationals, the Commanders, and the Capitals, I guess you've really only got the Capitals.
But the Capitals made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, at least they made it to the playoffs. Unlike the last team to make the playoffs from Detroit was?
Let me think. To make it to the playoffs.
To make it to the playoffs, not whether they won a game or not, just even make it to the playoffs.
It can't be the Lions.
No, they haven't made the playoffs since, I don't know,
Okay, I'm going to say the Red Wings.
Nope. Last team to make it to the playoffs were the Pistons.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That is. Man. And that's when they had Bob Lanier.
No.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. What a great guy. What an absolute.
You want to hear a great story about him? I'll tell you a great story about him.
I got a Bob Lanier story too, so go ahead, tell yours.
When the NBA had a game every Sunday.
Right.
They had a contest during halftime called 1-on-1. And you had two players going against each other 1-on-1. That was the purpose of it. And the two finalists were Bob Lanier and JoJo White from the Celtics.
I remember that.
And everybody thought that JoJo White was going to kill Lanier because JoJo White was a guard. He was fast.
Right.
Lanier killed him.
Yeah, I remember
Lanier, every shot Lanier took was from 15 feet out. And he sunk every one of them.
He was not a bad shooter for a big guy, that's for sure.
No, and for a guy with a size 22 foot.
Yeah, he also, those shoes toured like an exhibit that the Smithsonian had that went around on a train. Do you remember that? That's amazing. They had something called it was either called the museum train or the Smithsonian had a train of exhibits that went around the country.
That's cool.
And his size 23 shoes were part of that exhibit.
My wife and I are going to a concert. Listen to who's in this concert. I hope I can remember everybody. The Turtles, the Association, the Cowsills. Let me see who else. The Association. I can't. There's 7 groups
Gary
from
Gary Puckett and the Union.
Yes, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. Yes.
Yeah, you told us about this last week.
Yeah, but I'm senile.
Okay.
But I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, you know what? Andy's back on. I'm going to see if he's got better sound now. So let me bring Andy back. Let me go. Yeah, and my wife is ready to take off, so we got to get her poem in too. So let me see if Andy's sound is good here.
Your wife's ready to take off.
Sandy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're coming in great. All right, let me now. Jason's here too. Everybody, Jason Grant, quickly. If he wants to describe himself differently, he's going to have to do it after my introduction. But he's our resident gay Uber driving Republican.
There we go.
So I think he fills a lot he checks a lot of boxes for us. By the way, and he's elderly too.
That kid is Herschel Walker's son.
Yeah. Did
you hear what he said? How he described himself?
How does
I'm not gay. I'm a conservative who likes men.
Well, I'm a woman.
If you ask me, if you ask me, all conservatives like men. But anyway, that's a different thing.
Wow. This is all I know about this. This guy. Have you ever seen Christian? You ever seen Christian Walker? That's his name.
No, You know what? I have introduced Jason, so I'm going to bring him on. Here's Jason Grandin.
No, let's do that now.
Yeah, okay. And then my wife is Jason.
2 guys in a car.
2 guys in a car. I tell you, Jason can replace you, Andy. Look at that picture. You guys look the same. It's like
come on, this is a great beard, you know.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong with Jason's beard. I like Jason's beard.
I know some gay guys who have beards.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, every gay guy has a
Republican
beard.
too, you know.
All right, let's. Oh no, now
I don't have a beard, but I've been a beard.
Okay.
Sexy mama.
No kidding. Hey, you know what? My wife wants to get out of here. Every those of you that are regulars here. Oh, we got 5 viewers. Anyway, those of you that are regulars here. The 5. It's not. No, it doesn't count the people that are on screen. Those are 5 people that aren't on screen that they count. Anyway, everyone that's a regular viewer here knows that my wife reads a poem with the news at the beginning of the show. It serves as our agenda for the talking topics. Here's my wife, Susan Sweetman, everybody.
Woo!
I do more than just read it. I actually am the author.
Oh, that's right.
She poetry.
Right.
I think
Well, we kind of knew that. We didn't think you borrowed it from Robert Frost. Come on.
But if you criticize it, take it up with Mark. Okay.
Passing the buck.
News this week poem. The news this week is very bleak. The war in Ukraine is becoming antique. A small plane crashed on a bridge near Miami. The news is giving us a double whammy. Too many shootings may give me a stroke. Baby formula shortages is not a joke. Supreme Court term limits. Eric Holder gives snippets. Airlines are charging high prices for tickets. Volatile stock market. Will I ever retire? Western side of U.S. is one big wildfire. In Detroit, we saw nothing as the moon put on a shroud. The lunar eclipse was blocked here by that stupid rain cloud. Reproductive rights rallies across the U.S. ensues. I'm tired of hearing Depp Heard trial news. Both Finland and Sweden now set to join NATO. Enjoy tonight's podcast. Just don't throw a tomato.
Yeah, right.
You know, Susan, I knew that the rhyme was going to be tomato, and I was going nuts thinking, how's she going to do that?
All right, that's our poem, our agenda for the night. Any topics you want to add to that? She said she did not want to write about mass shootings, but
I stuck it in there.
She did stick it in there. No direct.
Yeah, but she kept it light, so that's okay.
Exactly. Well, as she does. That's what my bride does. But there were 4 mass shootings of which only 2 we're talking about. Have you seen that? The news is only about the Buffalo and the Orange County, California shootings.
Yeah.
Apparently, you got to get the body count past 10 before.
I think the other shootings didn't have a good agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Or they didn't have any video. That's the other thing too. If you got video, you can get on.
Well, yeah, the guy had video on his helmet, whatever he was wearing. So.
Oh yeah, that guy was. Well, he was live casting it, right?
He was live streaming as he went in and blasted away people.
Who, the Asian kid?
No. This was the kid in Buffalo.
He's Asian.
He's Asian?
Yes.
Really?
No. The Asian shooting was out in California.
My wife said that he was Asian.
I saw a photo of him. I saw a photo of him on the
news. Son of a bitch. No, she's not here. She's not even in the building. No, that's the only reason I could say that. In fact, if she comes upstairs and says, "What did you say?" I may have to leave the show.
Jason, did you get your new car?
I am in my new car.
Ooh, what kind of car
is it?
What'd you get?
A 2019 Jeep Compass with 20,000 miles on it, which for me makes it a baby.
Yeah.
Did you pay less than $10,000 for it?
No, I did not. considerably more than 10,000.
Oh, wow.
32,500.
You're close there, Sam. You're almost right on the nose there. You bet.
Wow.
32,000. Wow.
For a Jeep Compass? Wow.
Which is why I'm out here working as opposed to broadcasting from the Ed Gein Lounge, which I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, you ought to sell the naming rights for that lounge.
Well, I tell you, now it just looks like I'm out on a Tinder date or a grinder pickup and parking 10 feet from a school so the box doesn't shock me.
Got it. There you go.
Oh, did you hear? Who was it that?
At this point, you know, I mean, it's the whole creepy uncle no persona, and at this point, won't change it. You know, it's what you can do.
Speak up.
All right, I'll do my best.
You're too far away from your phone, man.
It's happened before.
Got it.
You sound like he's government. Pick up the phone, pleb. Speak into the microphone. Do what you're told. Get back in the house.
By the way, that kid, Christian Walker, I don't know if you've ever seen him. He is the most overtly effeminate human being I have ever seen in my life. It's not that he's gay or not gay. He is the most overtly effeminate. There was a Roseanne episode where Fred Willard is getting married to Martin Mull.
Yeah.
And he asks Roseanne, do you think should we allow ourselves to put two men on top of the wedding cake? Do you think some people will know that we're homosexual? And Roseanne, this is such a great line. And Roseanne says, "Are you kidding me? You're so gay. Your name should be Gay Gayerson."
Well, as the poet philosopher Antonio Burgess once said in the great film Car Wash, I'm more woman than you've ever been, more man than you've ever had. So
wow, that's nice.
And when that comes from the delivery of, again, one Huggy Bear, you know, whose kid did play football at Michigan.
Huggy Bear's kid?
Yeah, Huggy Bear's kid, Justin Farkas.
From Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, that was him.
Wow.
His boy played it.
Antonio Vargas.
That would be him.
Yep. Wow.
Yep.
My wife and I just watched the remake of the Starsky and Hutch movie over the weekend. Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. That movie is 18 years old. And
wow.
we were howling through it. We're going, how did we miss this?
Was it good?
It was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I liked it. Maybe I liked it because it probably couldn't be made today. I don't know, but
the best movie I ever saw with Owen Wilson was Midnight in Paris.
Yes. Oh, is that a great movie?
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
To me, that made his career. I think it
was his biggest grossing movie.
Was it really? Woody Allen or Owen Wilson?
And my favorite line in it is when he steals his girlfriend's earrings to give to that French girl.
Uh-huh.
And he's playing dumb like he doesn't know where they are. And his girlfriend, who's a real snob, and her father is a very, very right-wing guy. And he says, "You shouldn't say the maid took it." And she says, "You're always defending the help. That's why Daddy thinks you're a communist."
That's almost like that line from Annie Hall where he goes, "They should steal from us. They're black."
No, they're colored. They should steal from us. Of course they should steal from us.
Exactly.
Leonard, I married a fool.
Let's not forget Guy from Cambridge and Watermelon Man he was running, he's black, he must have done something.
That's funny.
Oh.
Another forgotten actor in a film that could not be made in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Estelle Parsons in that?
Yes. And I don't know who made it, but it's a kind of movie that Sean Penn's dad would have made.
Oh, man.
You know,
yeah.
He did what, Gwartney Stroop?
No, you're thinking. No, that's not Sean Penn's dad.
No. Putney's Swope was made by
Robert Downey Sr. Robert Downey
Sr.
Sr.
Robert Downey Sr. lived in my apartment building.
My bad. But again, someone along those lines. It just seems to me that would have been the perfect director for that film.
Putney Swope had 3 people in it that I went to college with.
Wow.
Wow.
Name
the
dropper.
guy who kept dropping his gun,
Yeah.
Buddy Butler, who passed away, unfortunately. Louise Heath, who was so beautiful. And she said something I've never forgotten. She said, I know you like me, and I like you, but it'll never work out because I've never, ever, ever been with any man who isn't gay. And I said, I am really confused, so I'm catching a cab home. I'm completely confused. You're telling me that you've never slept with a man who wasn't gay. Did you have sex with them, or were you just really sleepy? And she said, I had sex with one of them. I said, well, then he's bisexual. And she goes, oh, that's a stereotype. I said, if you had sex with a man, then he's at least temporarily heterosexual or bisexual.
Yeah, we can go that far.
Yeah. So you know the old joke, right? Yeah, I'm bisexual. I say sex. She says bye.
What's that, Jason?
I said, well, he's definitely ordering off both sides of the menu. There's no doubt about that. I mean,
yeah,
you got the meat and seafood all together on one platter, or it's what it is.
Okay, now can I do my college name drop list?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, here's the people I went to college with.
John Norman Collins.
What's that? Tim Meadows.
Is that okay?
Now he was a freshman when I was a senior, so we barely spoke, but we did work at the same student radio station. Bill Prady. Anybody know that name?
No.
Bill Prady was the creator and the showrunner for Big Bang Theory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And the one I had the most contact with in school, and the one who I also used to MC without at the Improv in Hollywood is Paul Feig. Paul Feig was a classmate in college, so that's my.
Paul Feig did Bridesmaids.
Yes, and he did the all-female. He did the female version of Ghostbusters as well.
He also did. Okay. He also did the. He played the disc jockey, interviewing the 4 guys in That Thing You Do.
Yes.
Okay.
He also created Square Pegs.
Wow.
That show Square Pegs was based on his high school experience on the east side of Detroit.
Was that the one with the who had a girl in it who died of cancer?
Yes.
Can never remember her name, but and by the way, speaking of TV, did you see the shows that were canceled this year?
I saw a long list. I went through them. I realized I hadn't seen any of them, so I kind of
I had, and the one that surprised me and Barbara was Mr. Mayor.
Oh wow!
Was that good?
I was very surprised. That was a very funny show.
No,
very well written.
Ted Danson, right?
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It had a line in it that just killed me. It had Bobby Moynihan in it, and and Danson says to Bobby Moynihan, who plays kind of a dimwit aide to the mayor. Danson's the mayor, and he goes, Have you seen my wife? Have you seen my daughter? And she goes, yes, she's lovely. No, that's not what I mean. And Holly Hunter was in it.
Yeah, she was great.
She was terrific. And the other one that got canceled was Good Sam with Sophia Bush. I'm hearing my voice again doubled.
Yeah,
I don't hear. You're fine. You sound fine.
Yeah, I'm hearing it double too. So it must be Andy's speaker that's doing it.
Oh, and the show about the guy who goes bowling.
Mine is echoing too. So if Andy's not hearing, it must be It must be
You
Andy.
remember the show that came on about the guy who
Your
wanted
voice
to
is
follow
fine,
his
Andy.
dream and be a bowler?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I think went on when that show was canceled. All right, you ready? This is what I think went on.
Sam, give me a quick break here. Jason, I need you to talk to see if you echo.
I'm right here. You hearing the echo out of me? Or?
I do. So Andy's the only one not echoing. So my conclusion is that something about your microphone or your speaker is making all the other three of us echo.
Me?
Commie bastard.
Me?
You're the only one not echoing.
Well, it's not me. I can shut it off and then come back on.
Just mute your mic just for a second. Let's see what happens when we talk. All right, Andy's muted, and I don't hear the echo anymore. So there you go.
I don't hear the echo anymore.
And I don't hear Jason echo, and I don't hear Sam echo. So Andy,
fucking Andy. God damn.
Fucking Andy. So here's what we're gonna do, Andy. When you need to talk, just unmute yourself. But until then,
how about this? Just leave.
Oh God, you're pissed off. He plays pissed off. Great. Look at that pissed off. Oh, that's awesome. That pissed off attitude is awesome. Look at that.
To be fair, he is parked somewhere in Pontiac. That's the typical reaction.
That is. There you go. He is in
Pontiac where Henry Ford was arrested for DUI.
I don't think so.
He was. This is many years ago. He was arrested for DUI. He pled guilty.
Yeah.
And went to like drunk driving school kind of thing. but he didn't fight it.
I'd not heard.
So he's coming. I think it was Pontiac. He's coming out of the courtroom, and because he's Henry Ford, all these reporters are gathered around him to get a story, and they start to ask him questions. And Ford holds up his hand and goes, "Don't complain, don't explain," and got in his limo and left.
All right. Now, I have heard that quote from Henry Ford. I did not hear the DUI and Pontiac version of that. I didn't.
And the other famous quote from him was, "There was a reason my father hated Jews."
Do you realize
that was Mel Gibson's father?
Yeah. Do you realize that Henry Ford Hospital is one of the large? What does I say? Ha ha ha! Oh, very funny. Andy's gonna have to write out all of his responses now. This is hilarious.
On the chat.
But Henry Ford Hospital is one of the largest, not only one of the largest hospitals, but one of the largest research hospital. And I always feel bad because all the Jewish doctors there have to work for Henry Ford.
Well, they don't work for him.
I know.
The place that I go to get my cancer treatment is called the Boris Blavatnik Center. And Boris Blavatnik is a Russian oligarch.
Oh, great.
And his net worth is $31 billion.
That's nothing.
Now, before you say to yourself, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money,"
it's nothing.
I just found out that Putin is worth $213 billion.
Yeah. I think he makes all his money from kickbacks.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you know the old saying, that's not fuck you money, that's fuck everybody money.
Yes.
What is a ha ha ha?
Kind of makes the Marcos family look like pikers in comparison, though.
Say again?
I say that Putin money kind of makes the Marcos look kind of paltry. I mean, Imelda and her hubby there, they plundered the Philippines.
The thing that kills me about them is that they were on a boat celebrating their son's birthday. Their son makes Donald Trump Jr. look like Bill Gates.
Their son just became president.
A weak-willed piece of garbage. And this is at a time when poverty was at its peak in the Philippines. So what song does Marcos's son sing during the celebration?
I don't know.
We Are the World.
Oh, We Are the World. Good. All right. He's president. Oh yeah. Andy is noting that that son is now the president of the Philippines.
Wow.
Which
Nothing to be proud of.
Which Susan didn't put in her poem, but it was, you know what though? All these people that are getting elected that that are basically anti-democratic, they're getting elected.
Well, they have name recognition.
I know, but I mean, that's if you want to argue against democracy, there's nothing like having people put idiots in office that is an argument against democracy.
Well, you heard the story about this woman in Pennsylvania who's running for, I think, for governor or senator. What is Oz running for?
Senator.
She was quoted saying something scurrilous about Muslims, and this reporter, I love this is her mindset, and this reporter said, "Did you say this?" And after they played the tape, the woman goes, "Oh, come on, that was 6 years ago." Oh, well, who could remember that? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, six years ago, in this month, remember Trump was making fun of all his opponents at the Republican debates. So
I've never understood, and I never will understand, why no one. I mean, if there's one thing I know about Trump is he's a punk. Okay, when he says something at a rally like "somebody kick that guy's ass," because he won't.
Yeah.
Because he won't. And no one ever says to him, "Oh, kiss my ass, you fat tub of shit," which I would do. If I was debating him, I would. I'd say, "Listen, Senor Alvaro Dupois," I would. Yeah. You know, what are you going to do? Fat me to death? Because I don't. Did you see him when he got roasted?
Yes. You talk about the the correspondence dinner, that one?
No, the Friars roast.
Oh, the Friars Club? Yeah. He doesn't laugh. I've never seen him laugh.
I've never seen him laugh.
He doesn't laugh. And he doesn't have a dog. He's got everything wrong with him.
He doesn't have a dog.
He's never had a
Melania. He's got Melania.
A lap dog isn't a dog. You got to have a. I'm talking about a pet. Well, I guess
every president's had a dog.
I just want him to do something human.
How patient are you?
Oh yeah. We want to. Andy wants Jason to add his comment.
In regards to.
In regards to say what, Jason? Say what, Jason?
Say what, Jason? What, Jason? And it's like a what Gracie sort of line, right?
Oi.
No.
Oi.
No, he's getting pissed again. I need a loop of Andy getting pissed in his car. I mean, that
getting pissed in his car.
Look at him. He's getting ticked off. Look at him. I need that to put on a screen. Yeah, that's what I need. I need one of those LED type screens that you can put inside a windshield or inside a side window, and so you could roll up that LED screen and have Andy's pissed face at the car next to you instead of flipping him off.
You know, that's ironic because I have one like that of Martha Plimpton. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God. You sleep.
You know, she lives here in New York.
Uh-huh.
And I've seen her like on the subway.
Right.
And I said to her, I think you do a really, really good, fine job as an actor. And she went, thank you. And her friend said to her, who was that guy? And she goes, how would I know who he is? Why would you ask me? How would I know who he is? He walked up to me, and I'm going, Jesus Christ, I'm about to be called a piece of shit. Oh my God. Geez. And no, but she said, he walked up to me, he complimented my acting, and then that was it. She said, I'm just grateful for the fact he left it at that. You know, he didn't say something like, you know, you're great. I remember when I did that play when I was in high school. She said, because then, this is the last thing on this, because then you have to kill yourself.
Oh, God.
She said, I don't want to know anything about you. I'm grateful for the compliment, but we're done.
Yeah. Well, you heard Albert Brooks talk about how compliments, when they're allowed to go on for too long, become sort of assaults. He calls them a CompuSalt, because people start going into the things they liked and the things they didn't like, and then the things they would have done differently. It's just like, just stop. Just say it was good and stop right there. Because you need know a thing or two about it. And, if I were to encounter Albert Brooks, I'd tell him that I thought Lost in America was a great movie. But the one he made about the Muslim world, I don't know. And
did you see the one he made with Debbie Reynolds' mother?
Yes. Oh.
Sounds amazing.
Oh.
We saw that movie. We saw that movie the same day that Barbara was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh my.
And I said, years later, I said to her, do you know how funny that movie would have had to have been? And she said, yeah. I said, I thought it was hilarious. She goes, go fuck yourself.
I took my mom to see it. And, wait a minute. We got Andy piping in with something here. Good movie. Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I took my mom to see it, and we almost took my grandmother to see it too. But we decided that we would have to explain too much of it during the film, and we didn't want to disrupt the other moviegoers. So we would wait for that to be on video. And my grandmother never made it that far. And my mother said, well, that's a good thing, because that movie was all about her.
Oh, that's hysterical. That's hysterical.
With Brooks,
the
movies are all diamonds. And if you just like one more than the other one just is a lesser diamond. I mean, they're all great movies. The man knows what he's doing.
Great
story.
Andy's got a note up. It says, great movie posted. Great movie posted. Cal. I can't read it. Let me see if I can enlarge that.
What was the name of the woman who played Phoebe on Friends?
No, I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to think of it.
The blonde.
Yeah. Wasn't Jessica Parker, was it?
Huh?
It wasn't Jessica.
No, it was
who sang Smelly Cat.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It wasn't Aniston. It wasn't what was her name? I don't know her name. I didn't see any of those shows that got canceled. I'm not expected to
Mr. Mayor I saw, but except for that.
You know what we have been watching? We do watch a lot of these shows where we can group watch them, where they have a whole season of like 8 or 10 episodes. We love those. Great movies.
That's what they do in England. An entire season is 8 episodes.
Yeah, I love those shows. Did you ever see the Wrong Mans?
Yes.
With James Corden. That was a great series. I mean, that was great. And it was good because you know what? I wouldn't even want to watch a second series of that. It was great. It was a great 8-episode miniseries. It was awesome.
I don't know why this is true, but when I record, if I go to sleep, too early or if I get tired and I go to sleep, I wake up the next day and watch Stephen Colbert. And for reasons I don't know the answer to, when we watch Colbert, the James Corden show is also recorded, even though we're not taping the James Corden show, but it gets recorded. But I don't watch that show. Nothing against him. I don't like it. And and so my Barbara says to me, James Corden is leaving his show.
He is, yes.
And I said, I really wish I could work up the energy to care.
What's funny about that? What's funny about that spot, though? That was the spot that Letterman gave to Tom Snyder. Remember?
Yes.
Because there wasn't a show after Letterman's show when he first went to CBS. He says, "Well, let's just put Snyder in there because I took his show at NBC when they decided to can him and put me in there.
Right.
So I'm going to give it. And then he left, and James Kilborn took that spot. And then he left.
You don't mean James Kilborn.
Not James. Who am I talking about?
Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn. Yeah, Craig Kilborn took that, and then he left voluntarily, and Craig Ferguson took the spot, and then he left voluntarily. Everybody leaves that spot voluntarily.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a case of jump before you're pushed.
No, that could be. That could be.
You know the joke about the guy who says to a friend of his, "I heard you went skydiving." And he says, "Yeah." He says, "How was it?" He said, "The worst day of my life." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Well, I get to the opening to jump and I freeze. I can't do it. I'm too scared. And everyone on the plane is pissed at me. The pilot's pissed because there's a cloud cover coming and he's not going to be able to, other people aren't going to be able to clear a jump. Everybody else on the plane is pissed at me because it's getting a little, there's turbulence, so they're not going to be able to jump. Everyone's pissed at me, but I can't jump. I'm frightened." So the jump instructor walks up to me and says, "You have to jump." He goes, I can't. I'm too scared. He says, "Let me put it this way. If you don't jump right now, right now, I'm going to pull your pants down and fuck you in the ass." And his friend says, "Oh my God, did you jump?" He goes, "A little."
At first.
By the way, there are two endings to that joke. The other one is, "Did you jump?" At first.
Oh.
Heads in, you're all right, but never mind that.
Hey, you know what I'm watching now, Sam? I'm watching that The Offer, which is the miniseries on the making of The Godfather.
Oh my God,
very enjoyable. Very
so
enjoyable.
good.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yes.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but I'm hooked. I like it.
And Miles Teller,
yes,
from Whiplash, is in it.
Yes. Yeah, he plays the lead.
That's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
What, Whiplash?
Yeah, man. J.K. Simmons was unbelievable.
He won
what
the
a
Oscar.
sadist.
Didn't he win the Oscar for that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That movie won 4 Oscars.
Yeah.
But what a sadist. Jesus Christ. I love the scene. It's in the very beginning when he says someone was, playing flat. Right. And he says to this kid, "Was it you?" And the kid's looking around. He says, "Look, you have to know if it was you. Do you have to stop looking down? It wasn't a Mars bar." Anyway. Paul Reiser was in that.
Paul Reiser, don't see him in a lot of stuff anymore.
I think he's made a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's like saying you don't see Seinfeld and stuff anymore. It's just
thank
once
God.
Once you've got that, you've done it all.
Well, he was in Mad About You.
Sure. And that was his show.
That's correct.
Pretty much, he owned part of that too, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, he literally. It was. Excuse me. It literally was his show.
Yeah, that's the key. Like Tim Allen didn't make that much off of Home Improvement because he didn't own it. I mean, he got paid.
Did he
a lot.
own Last Man Standing?
He sure did, baby. Oh yeah, baby. He had the power to own that one.
It's really funny. This friend of mine said to me, he said, "Do you watch Last Man Standing?" I said, I like Tim Allen a lot, but it's just too much like other shows. Nothing against him, it just is. And he said, "I will never watch a show of his again." And I go, "Why?" He goes, he's a big conservative." I go, "What?" I said, and this is me talking. I went, what do you give a shit? Why do you care? Is he entertaining? Yes. Is he funny? Yes. Is the show well written? Yes. And that's the reason you're not going to watch him, because he doesn't vote the way you vote. But he voted for Trump. I said, "You don't know that. I know conservatives who don't vote for Trump. You don't know that." I said, but it's not the reason not to, you don't watch a show because it sucks. That's the reason.
Yeah,
or
most of my conservative friends fought like hell against Trump, and but as soon as he was the candidate for their party, they voted for him. But they would.
But I understand that.
He was the last choice, but once everyone else was eliminated, he was their guy.
And that's another thing, when I was talking about, like all these Republican opponents of his who he trashed and they wouldn't talk back. What cowards they are.
And I think that was their party until he won. That was their party. They didn't do that. In fact, they didn't think he was going to win because until Trump, Republicans always took the next guy in line.
Yep.
Reagan lost to Ford in 76. He's the nominee in 80. Bush lost to Reagan when he ran in 80. He's the nominee.
He was the next guy in 88.
Exactly. Bob Dole was the next nominee after. You know what I mean? It was just you just get the next guy, and so you had to make a run at it and lose as a Republican. Now the Democrats are just the opposite. Once you lose as a Democrat,
your history.
Your history, except unless you're Hillary Clinton.
Who, by the way, should be president right now, but never mind that, right?
Well, whatever. I mean, I don't think.
I'll tell you this. If she had been elected, this whole Roe v. Wade thing wouldn't have happened.
No, of course not.
No, because we'd have 3 of her nominees in the Supreme Court.
God, I have never prayed more for a plane crash than for those 3 people.
That's 3 plane crashes.
No, I want them all in the same plane.
That's not going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Well, I know why you're saying that, because if the plane crashes with Kavanaugh in it, it's going to take 2 years to clean up the beer.
Or put out the alcohol fueled fire.
Well,
I never knew the details about Amy Coney Barrett.
Yes.
She's like the Handmaid's Tale.
What was that? What was that, Jason?
Yeah, she's not quite that liberal. In the Handmaid's Tale, the women had a certain amount of freedom to do chores. In Amy Coney Barrett's, I think they just keep them locked up in the basement and used as incubators. Not that I've been there recently, but I mean that's my impression.
I think that's because they read the petition. But yeah, she's frightening. She's that horrible combination of attractive and frightening.
Yes.
Well, isn't that what? That's like what's her name? I don't think the crazy Congress ladies are unattractive. Lauren
Amy Coney. Amy.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Bobbitt or whatever. Bogert. Yeah, Lauren Bogert, and I don't think they're unattractive. I didn't think. What's her name from Alaska? Sarah Palin. I didn't think she was unattractive. Your nutcase in New York, Elise. Elise.
I know who you mean.
You know who I'm talking about? The replacement theory chick. Anyway, I don't think she's unattractive. So we have to stop. Stefanik. That's it. We have to stop electing people based on what they look like.
Well, good luck with
that. Give me a car 11 anytime.
Car 11. That's hysterical.
Car 11 had the best comb over in the Senate. I'm telling you.
But just remember this: McConnell wasn't good looking either.
Still, well, I mean, what do you expect from a golem? I mean,
Perfect.
I am a conservative gentleman. I am nominally a Republican. Mitch McConnell is everything that is wrong with the Republican Party. I mean, you want to talk about? I'd put him on the plane with the 3 justices, Sam. If you could work that out, hell, I'd even help him taxi out to the takeoff point.
Don't you think they suspect something if those 3 and McConnell were all on the same plane? Don't you think somebody would just go, wait a minute, hold on
for a few minutes when it was mercifully crashed into the ground? I mean,
see, there's 2 ways to look at that, Mark. One is they put all 4 people on the plane and someone goes, wait a minute, but then someone might go, wait a minute,
Well, we
Yeah.
can have you arrange the airplane. I mean, because she did it for the Secretary of Treasury or for transportation way back in the day.
Put that shipment of Samsung S7 phones in the cargo hold. So.
Yeah, right next to the two air tanks that are over there.
Yeah, exactly. The compressed air tanks. Yeah, roll those over there too.
You guys are so innovative.
Barry Jr. is flying this up from Mena Airport, and don't worry.
You know what? Hey, let that little kid that you just gave the plastic wings to, let him fly the plane. You know.
But it won't matter.
Don't let the guy who flew the plane for the pilot who got sick, because that son of a bitch can fly a plane.
That guy was awesome.
He flew a Cessna Caravan. I can't even fly a Cessna Caravan. Well,
that was really impressive.
What was great about it was how calm he was the whole time.
Well, you got your choice: fly the airplane or die.
I agree. You know, I think you have to will yourself to be focused.
You do. I mean,
in that circumstance.
I used to love back when I was flying more regularly to treat my friends to my fake heart attack routine. That always went over well.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh,
I have Jason, a nephew.
I could just see you clutching your heart, Jason. I can just see that. That'd be great.
And then I have a nephew who flies, small aircraft.
There you go.
And my sister, who's old enough to be my mother, flew with him. My other sister flew with him. And my sister said to me, Bruce is always asking, I'd love to take Sam up, and where you could fly. I said, I honestly believe with all my heart, it's coming, Mark, with all my heart, that the last words I would ever hear was, oh my God, I thought we were okay. I just think I'd be the one,
yeah.
Well, I didn't tell you this. I thought you'd get a kick out of this. I don't think I told you this. When I had cancer, the cancer I had is supposed to, if you go into remission, which I did, it's supposed to last like a year and a half.
All right.
And it lasted 4 months. And I went into remission.
Well, that's nice.
And I had a heart attack. The heart attack was supposed to last 3 months. And it lasted one night. They put 2 stents in, sent me home.
Oh, wow.
And the pneumonia I had was supposed to last 3 weeks. It lasted overnight. And when I fractured the 5 ribs, yes, everybody, this actually happened. When I fractured the 5 ribs, that was supposed to last 8 weeks, and it lasted 3. So my doctor said to me, I want to get this right. The cancer lasted a year less than it was supposed to. The heart attack lasted months less than it was supposed to. And the pneumonia lasted 3 weeks less than it was supposed to. And the fractured ribs lasted 5 weeks less than it was supposed to. And I said, yeah, what's your point? He goes, why do you bother? Why do you even get sick? I go, I got a better one. I said, no one in my family for the last 3 generations, which is all I could retrace, has ever had cancer, a heart attack, or pneumonia. No one ever.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, how did you get these? I go, in another life, I burned down an orphanage.
Ooh.
And this is Payback, which was a Mel Gibson movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
The words I don't want to hear, the last words I don't want to hear are, what does this button do?
That's right.
Those are,
well, the great joke. What are the last words you hear a redneck say?
What?
Hey, y'all, watch this.
It's become a great one. It's become part of the culture now. Is the hold my beer. I love the hold my beer.
That's essentially the same thing. Yeah. Hold my beer. Watch the. Yeah, that's right.
Beer.
Well, that's like the old Richard Pryor line when he said he had a friend. He was friends with Jim Brown, and he said he knew this guy who had a terrible temper, and he got into it with Jim Brown. This guy he knew, and he said, "Screw Jim Brown! I'm going to kick his ass," and his friends are holding him back, and he's saying, don't you put your hands on me. I'll kick his ass right now." and Pryor says, and Jim Brown says, "I think if you let the brother go, he'll be able to express himself a little better." And the punchline is that the guy says, "All right, now I want y'all to listen to me carefully. You're going to ease my ass out of this room. And if you take one finger off me, I'll kill you." And he just starts screaming, "I'll kill Jim Brown," but they don't let go of him. And Jim Brown signed an autograph for me, and I'm told that if you walk up to him and ask for his autograph, he just signs it. He never goes, "Oh man," he just signs it.
How about that?
I think that's pretty cool. He also did great work with some of the gangs in L.A., straightening out their lives,
Yeah. I like
of course, my favorite story about Jim Brown is he was doing a movie with Raquel Welch, and she said, "Would you pass the salt?" And he goes, "Get it yourself. It's white."
Ooh.
That's as bad at me as at the Chinese restaurant asking for the extra rice. When they asked it, I want brown or white. I said white. I want the master rice.
Oh man! Oh man!
Oh, Jason, you gotta come back to the Unclub, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I've been working a lot because I'm paying for this damn golden thing that I'm in.
All right. Yes. Well, every Sunday night we have a waiting list, and I think there's maybe 2 Sundays since January that we haven't gotten people off the waiting list and up on stage. So, I mean, even if you,
I've got some new material I've been working on, and the other day I was at the gym. There were so many old people there. I thought the cemetery was closed.
Oh man!
Yeah, I mean, just you know how it is. You see little stuff. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But we miss you. We were in fact, Tim was going through his list of unclubbers and people we haven't seen in a while, and your name came up because we're building a little cadre of young comics now, and we need some of the older guys to come back and show them how it's done.
Yeah, well, again, if you saw my grinder history, that's something I specialize in. So,
showing the youngsters how it's done?
Absolutely.
I got heavily criticized by a comic which was interesting because he was spectacularly unfunny. And so he got, and I mean, unbelievably unfunny.
Aren't the unfunny ones the most critical ones, though?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. So he does his act, he bombs, and I go on stage, and I have a philosophy about this. I don't try to shit on the guy, but the audience isn't deaf, dumb, and blind. They know he sucked.
Right.
So you can't go on stage and go, "How about a big hand?" It's ridiculous to do that.
No.
So I go, "How about a nice hand for Jerry Robin, a promising comic?" And tonight he broke that fucking promise.
Well, my for the last 20 years, when I'm closing a show, I don't do it if I'm not the closer, but when I'm closing the show, I always say, Roger, whoever the owner is, I said, "Roger asked me, what would it take you to leave sunny Southern California and come here to Michigan to do a show for us?" I says, "Well, if you could get the worst weather in 20 years and make sure that the snow, the roads aren't plowed from the airport, so it takes me 3 hours to get to the hotel. And, could you have the guy open in front of me with a joke about how Subway sandwiches look like penises, or whatever the joke didn't get last with?" I go, "Hey, if you can do that, I'm your guy. And so the way I diffuse the bad comic is by referencing one of their worst jokes in my opening line by making fun of the idea that I
that's fun. Well, that's funny.
That is funny. But I've been using that technique for 20 years. I can't remember who I saw do it first, but I'm sure I'm not an originator of that. But
you remember Uncle Dirty?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
This guy goes on stage and bombs, and Uncle Dirty is the MC. And I'm going to tell you something: you have not lived until he's been the MC.
Okay.
You do not know what pure enjoyment is, because he didn't care. If a comic bombed, he didn't go, "Oh, I should be nice to him." That never enters his mind. And so this guy gets on stage. He doesn't do well. And Dirty gets on stage and goes, "How about a nice hand for Jerry Robbins, everybody?" Who answers the question, "Why?"
Uncle Dirty, for my money, Uncle Dirty was probably the most comics knew that the general public didn't know. Everybody has has sort of a continuum where it's like comics know them, public knows them, and then public doesn't know them, comics don't know, nobody knows them, type of thing. But Uncle Dirty, more comics knew that guy, but still he didn't get the fame and the claim that a lot of his peers did.
He was a stockbroker.
Oh, was he really?
Oh yeah.
We have a guy in town.
His need to make money was not as great as yours or mine.
Well, we had a guy in town here. Ziggy Klett is the stage name.
What was his name?
Ziggy Klett is his stage name. His real name is Phil Dunham. But Phil made it all the way up to vice president for I can't remember which. He didn't go to New York, but I mean he was vice president in
of a brokerage firm.
One of the big ones, one of the ones you've heard of. It might even be
Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith.
Something like that. He got up to the highest office he could get without moving to New York, here in Detroit, and he retired off of that. And after he retired, after 30 years of just doing funny shit, open mic, my dad loved him and thought, he says, "I'll buy his tickets," but I go, "Dad, that's not gonna replace his, Wall Street money. You're buying his tickets." But anyway, after 30 years, he went back to comedy. Now he's not Phil Dunham anymore. He's Ziggy Klett. But he had a bit that my dad loved, and it was he's talking about being in the room with his wife as his wife's delivering their baby, and he goes, he says, "I'm looking, no, suddenly I look over there, and there's the doctor, and he's arm fucking my wife."
Oh God, that's hysterical.
That's not funny enough. My dad thought that he said, of all the comedy shows I saw you do, he said, "This is funnier than any of your lines." But he says, so Phil goes, I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. This guy's a professional. Come on. Let's be serious.
Oh man.
This has to be a medical procedure. And I thought, so that's what I told myself until I got the bill. It says hospital stay, anesthetic, scrub, arm fuck. He's looking at the bill, and the bill has arm fuck on it. Oh God,
that's hysterical! Oh my God.
He said, I should have known." When he turned to everybody in the room and goes, "Anybody else want to arm fuck this bitch?"
I think I told you last week I watched like an hour of Dangerfield.
Yes.
I could barely catch my breath. And he goes, my mother told me when I was born, the doctor said we did everything we could, but he pulled through. I went to the beach with my parents and I couldn't find them. And I walked up to the lifeguard. I go, my parents, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, have you seen them? He says, no, they're very good at hiding. I don't think he ever got credit for how brilliant his comedy was.
Oh, I think he did.
No, I think people knew he was funny, but I don't think they realized how great those lines were. Just great. I mean,
he's half the stuff he's doing in Caddyshack. He's riffing. It was driving the crew nuts, but it made it into the movie.
Well, my favorite line in that movie is when he gets served a steak and he goes, "Well, look at this. The thing's got whip marks where the jockey hit it."
Ah. Well, you know, Jason, the director of that was Harold Ramis of Caddyshack. Yes. And Harold Ramis came from Second City, so there would be a lot of improvisational background. He'd had a lot of improvisational background, so
you know, who wasn't doing the improv, so it was throwing him off, but it worked because it made him frustrated and angry and flustered, which is what they needed from the character.
Right.
It worked perfectly.
Well, you know, there's a lot of it. Woody Allen especially has a skeleton type script, and Cheech and Chong used to do like skeleton type scripts. And in fact, Cheech and Chong was even more light than Woody Allen. Woody Allen at least had a complete storyline. Cheech and Chong would say, "This is the scene where everybody's in the car and they get high," and then everything was improvised. But the thing, as long as the script had a beginning, middle, and the story arc was completed in the script, they could make things up as they were filming. Woody Allen had a little bit more structure than that, but
I met Danny Aiello.
Yes,
and he was in Purple Rose of Cairo.
Right.
And I said to him, "What's it like being directed by Woody Allen?" And he said, "He kind of lets you direct yourself," which I thought was a very bright way to describe it. And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, he'll walk up to you and go, 'Danny, I want you to be angrier. Be angrier.'" And so he doesn't say something like, "I want you to evoke a memory." No. Be angrier. But the thing about Woody Allen was he trusted his actors.
Right.
Well,
you know what that means? That means that, Juliet Taylor has been his casting director
forever.
So that, to me, that means he trusts her completely.
That's right.
To cast his films. So, which probably should probably get her a special Oscar just for casting all of his films.
Well, what's her name? God damn it. Christopher Walken's wife is a very well-known casting director, TV casting director, and she won an Emmy for casting.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. But
I auditioned for The Sopranos.
Christopher Walken's wife?
Huh?
Christopher Walken's wife?
Yes. And I auditioned for The Sopranos, and I'll never forget this. She called me, and she said, "I want you to know that we all thought you were brilliant, but David, whatever, Chase was his name, the director, the creator.
Yeah.
He's very close friends with Paul Mazursky. And Mazursky, and he wants Mazursky to do this." And I said, Sunshine. "Well, no, that's fair. Mazursky probably needs the money more than me."
Georgianne Walken.
Yeah, that's it. Very nice woman.
Yep.
I auditioned for the Simpsons, and the character's name was Greenfield.
How about that?
Yeah. And he was running for mayor, and it was Greenfield for Springfield.
There you go.
And for the second time in my life, I got screwed out of a part by a famous person.
Who got the part?
Listen, the guy running for mayor of Springfield, named Greenfield, and
he's still in the part. Mayor Quimby is the mayor, so he must have lost. Greenfield must have lost.
No, he lost, but he was running.
Okay.
So the casting director said, "Listen, I thought you did a really good job, but Dustin Hoffman's kids want him to do a Simpsons.
Oh, man.
And I said, you'll understand if I tell you, I hope he gets viral laryngitis. And she laughed. I said, you think I'm being funny. I mean it. I hope he shows up and goes, I do. I said, this is like, I don't know, I've never rooted against a performer in my life, and I love Dustin Hoffman, but if he shows up the next day and his voice is dust, I'll be thrilled. Did you see Last Chance Harvey? With him and Emma Thompson?
No.
That was such a good movie.
Whose movie is that?
That was Dustin Hoffman, Emma Thompson.
Oh, Emma Thompson. All right.
Yeah. And he plays a guy who writes commercial jingles.
Oh, I like it.
And he gets fired. Just at the time, he has to fly to London for his daughter's wedding. And his wife and he have been divorced for like decades. Mm-hmm. And now she remarried, and she remarried James Brolin. And he does, it's not an affair, but because they haven't had time to consummate it, but he started a relationship with Emma Thompson. And it was really sweet how it all evolved. And he's in it, and James Brolin is in it, and Kathy Baker plays his ex-wife.
Yeah, she's always good.
It was wonderful. It was a really sweet movie. The woman who is in Pulp Fiction, who plays Rosanna Arquette's friend, who's Irish.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in it. That's all I can think of offhand. But it was really wonderful, and a very talented, and Hoffman was great, of course, and she was great, of course, and I really enjoyed it, except for the anal scenes. I hated that.
Well, the Dustin Hoffman movie I saw was Midnight Cowboy. It's on demand. So I watched. It was when it was first showing. I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to see it, and I watched this movie from 1969, 1970.
69.
Yeah, I remember that's his movie after The Graduate, and he's not recognizable as Benjamin. I mean, he really does Ratso Rizzo in his own way. I mean, and of course to see John Voight, who still looks like he's 14 at that point in time.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing movie. I mean, it's a bit of its time, to be sure, but the New York that they photographed simply doesn't exist anymore. And again, it was a hell of a movie. It was deserving of its, I think, Best Picture award.
And it was the only X-rated movie to win Best Picture.
X-Men adult, it didn't mean porn.
Yep.
There's nothing really pornographic in the movie. I mean, it's adult, to be sure, but it's not pornographic.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't porn.
No. Yeah, but it was more than an R. But that's how we got NC-17, was movies like that.
By the way, in the movie Midnight Cowboy, do you know who played the guy who blew him in the balcony of the theater?
Bob Balaban, wasn't it?
Bob Balaban, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Who's about 17 in that scene, or it looks like it. I mean,
looks like it, yeah.
I mean, but they had sort of a Paul kind of scene, and it was a little bit of its time, but boy, it was a good movie. I was really impressed with it, and again, I can see why Dustin Hoffman after that was able to get. I think the next movie after that was Straw Dogs with.
Straw Dogs, yeah.
And then Dog Day Afternoon, he had quite a.
Oh, no, that was Al Pacino.
Oh, that was Pacino. That's right. You know what? Midnight Cowboy also gave us another phrase that has become common in the culture, and that is, "I'm walking here."
I was told that was ad-libbed.
I
I'm
believe
sure.
it is. The looks
I
of
believe.
it.
I think they just caught that. That was an actual scene or an actual
Where the cab driver almost actually
almost
hit him.
actually almost him. They kept it in the final cut because it was authentic.
You know, it's funny. They asked.
Sam, were we looking at your belly button again?
I hope so.
Or is that
Uh,
or is that your ear? What is that? Oh, there we go.
oh, that's my ear.
That's your
Why
ear.
do I have it to my ear? And why do you think my belly button looks like my ear? That's the real question. In the movie Kramer versus Kramer, they asked Meryl Streep, who evidently, from what I've heard, is just the nicest human being in the world. And they said, "So you worked with Dustin Hoffman?" She goes, "He's horrible. I wouldn't work with it." She said it laughing, but she meant it. "I wouldn't work with him again for 5 times the money.
Wow.
He's nuts." She said, "You remember the scene where he threw the wine glass against the wall? That wasn't in the script. He scared me half to death. I don't like him."
Wow. Did they ever work together again?
No.
Because
Did they?
it's been almost 40 years since that film came out. So
That bitch can hold a grudge.
usually you can let things go, especially when your two names got so big as Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep. You think that?
Yeah, that's 5 Oscars between them.
Yeah. Well,
By the way,
I'm going to Google
of all the things Trump has ever said that was really ridiculous is when he said the highly overrated Meryl Streep.
And Meryl Streep. Yeah, that was funny.
You know,
God, what a turd.
You know, her performance in Deer Hunter, when she's walking with Robert De Niro, and she's clearly been stooping every guy in town because everyone coming down there saying hello to her, and yet she keeps that deadpan and completely ignores it. I mean, that was, again, a beautiful bit of acting, and the light moment in a very, very heavy and dark film. Camino uses a heavy hand in everything he does.
When I saw Deer Hunter, I'm just using this as a round number. Let's say there were 500 people in the theater, okay?
Yeah.
100 walked out.
Yeah.
They couldn't take it.
It was a rough movie. It was not a fun movie. It was an allegory. It was a lot of things. But I mean, it's a movie I've only seen twice. And what can I say? I mean, but it's a great movie. It's a great film.
Oh, well, you know, something about that movie that I've always been happy about is I told friends of mine after I saw it, I said, bet every dime you have on Christopher Walken winning Best Supporting Actor. Bet everything you have, because he's going to win. And he did. And I don't know why I was so sure of that, but I've never been more certain that someone was going to win an Oscar. His performance it just laid me out. I couldn't, how great he was.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess the biggest lock in the history of the Oscars is John Wayne winning for True Grit, since they put Hoffman and Voight together as best actor, which canceled each other out.
Yeah.
And gave it to Wayne.
What was that for? Conrack? For Voight?
No, Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy? Okay, all right.
They were both nominated for Midnight Cowboy.
I remember, again, back in the early 70s when Voight was hot property for a while.
I don't think he was nominated for Conrack.
No,
I think he was nominated for The Champ.
Yeah, another great movie.
And he was nominated for Ali for his portrayal of Cosell.
Yep.
All right, I found another film that Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep are in, but I don't think they work together.
You got nothing for Deliverance? I thought Deliverance had a nomination.
Who?
For Voight, for Deliverance.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And if anyone was going to get nominated for that movie, it should have been Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Ned
or
Beatty
Ned
was-
Beatty.
Ned Beatty
needed to get
Ned
nominated.
Ned Beatty
He
gets
took it in the butt. That man deserved an Oscar for that.
You look like a little pig. You gonna squeal for me, boy?
You know what? They should have a special Oscar for roles that will never be forgotten. You know, whether
And no one's gonna want to repeat either. Right?
exactly. Oh, I got another film. I got another film here with Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep.
Is that a total of 3, or is it just the 2?
Just 2. Now, which 2 are we talking about? Which 2 are you talking about? We have Kramer versus Kramer.
I thought that was it.
No, there's one more. There's a film called Lemony Snicket. Series of unfortunate events.
Oh, wow.
It starred Jim Carrey, and Meryl Streep had a larger role than Dustin Hoffman, and I don't think they actually had a scene together. So
No, I think it was separate scenes because it was like Lemony Snicket was a separate scene.
Yeah, because he's telling stories to these kids in that movie. Remember, so all the characters were in different scenarios.
Yes. So so it was they never had to see each other.
Right.
So in Caddyshack, they had to keep Bill Murray and Chevy Chase apart from each other.
Oh, they hated each other.
I thought it was because they were lovers.
Together.
No.
And they damn near came to blows just to do that one scene. Well, everyone hates Chevy Chase, and
Isn't it amazing that those 2 men, who are such brilliant comic actors and have brought so much laughter to people, are such unbelievable pricks?
Yeah.
well, I mean, Bill Murray
I tell you what, it's not from where we first met them, and I think that's what happens if we get that initial impression. I think what happened is fame and money force them to become pricks. I mean, I'm a nice guy, but you give me, $10 million a movie or whatever they made.
You still wouldn't be a prick.
I'd be willing to take that chance to see if I could become a prick. I would be willing to take that chance.
You know what that reminds me of?
Now, you should know that I'm not going to be a prick to Greenfield, Grant, and Jensen.
That's all I ask. That's all I care about.
I mean, you
If
3
someone
guys.
walked up to me and says, "Do you know Mark Sweetman? What a piece of shit he is." Not to me.
Not to me, is it? No, the deal is anytime I make it, Greenfield, Grant, and Jensen get first refusal on whether they want a part or not.
Oh, okay, good.
If they're going to pay me $10 million plus a percentage, I go, all right, I'll take.
You know what would be hysterical?
I got to have Greenfield, Grant.
If somebody
and
said to you, if somebody said to Sam, somebody said to Mark, "Listen, we want to offer this role to Greenfield." Oh, okay. Well, what did Sam say? He says, "Not if Sweetman's in it."
Yeah, let Sweetman finance this thing, but if he's going to be in it, fuck him.
Yeah, let it go. By the way, you know the TV show Shark Tank?
Yes.
These 2 guys come in and they say, "Hi, Sharks. I'm Bob and this is Steve. And we're asking for $2 million for 20% for a movie we're making." And Mark Cuban goes, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did you say you wanted $2 million for a movie?" "Yes, I'm out."
That's fine.
Because this is why he said that. He said, "It will never be $2 million. It will not stop at 2 million. 2 million will be what it is right now, but it's going to keep going up and up and up, and you can't guarantee me that it won't."
Like a government transportation project,
Yeah.
Like the Big Dig in Boston.
Boston, yes. Did they ever finish that?
Oh God, yes. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But
speaking of transportation, here in Detroit, we got they're refurbishing the 1925 Michigan Central Station, which is one of the grand, just like every old station that was built in the 20s, grand and spectacular and needed refurbishing and was left. I think they closed it down in 85 or something like that. So it was gone. It was gone for 40 years anyway, before. But Ford Motor Company bought it and they're refurbishing it, and they're going to use it for their zero emission vehicle program, which basically means electric cars. But they don't call them electric; they call them zero emissions. So if they can come up with something other than electric that'll have zero emissions, they're going to go with that. But anyway, they're talking about, we have all this property now, and we have this building. We're not going to use all of it. What else could we do with this building? And everybody's going, make a great train station. You might want to consider using those train tracks that are sitting right next to it and use it for a train station.
Oh, well, you know, they built a new train station here, the Patrick Moynihan.
I want to get there because I've been to the what used to be the Port Authority there, right? The Port Authority be there where they what was the name of that? What was the name of that station before?
I don't know. I think it was always Port Authority.
I know it's the Port Authority, but there was a name for the station, the actual station that they built. And the new one is where the post office used to be, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Oh, by the way, this is so funny to me. This falls under the category of no shit, really? There was a huge article in the New York Times Sunday magazine last week. And it was about Ed Koch, and that it can finally be revealed that he's gay. And I thought to myself, so let me see, when was this written? Oh, 1980. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, everyone who didn't know that. When he ran against Mario Cuomo for governor. Yeah. This is no kidding. Cuomo's slogan was "Vote for Cuomo, not the homo."
Oh, oh Lord!
Wow.
Penn Station is the name of the train station in.
Okay, but not a human.
Port Authority is, and Penn Station, I guess, is still there. It's the hall that's called Moynihan Hall at the transportation hub, and I think what they're trying to do with that is they're trying to put some regional transit and Amtrak and city lines all together in that one area to make sort of like that the transportation hub.
Well, they're going to rename it Vagina Bob's Barbecue.
Well, what about this train that's supposed to go from Bronx through the Queens down to Brooklyn? Have you heard about this?
You know something? We not only have that, but we have boats.
I know that.
Yeah, that you can take, like from where I live,
right
to in fact IKEA has one that you can take to the IKEA.
Wow,
really?
Which I think is great.
That is cool.
Except for the only thing I hate about IKEA is you walk up to someone and go, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a table lamp." And when they say, "Oh, you mean de Verden?" I don't know.
you mean Schürntevaderverda.
Well, by the way, you know what Haagen-Dazs actually means?
What?
Nothing. It was made up.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's not even a Scandinavian language.
Haagen-Dazs. So it was advertising. Got it.
Mark.
Oh, you know what I think it means? Table lamp.
Table lamp. I like that.
Oh, you mean the Verdi.
My wife is taking Danish now on Duolingo.
I eat them.
Oh.
No, there you go.
It's 9:31, Mark.
I know it. Well, it's 9:31, but we started a couple minutes late because of things here. So, anyway, I'm putting our closing music on. So here we go. Time to wrap it up here.
Well, my time is up, and I thank you for yours. Now I'm going to make like a butcher and take my meat and beat it. All right.
There we go.
I don't know why that sounds like I'm in an echo chamber here. What did it say about Jason? Put that back up, Andy. I didn't see it. It says, Oh, say what, Jason? Oh, we need Jason's final word. What's Jason's final comment here?
I really thank you all, and we'll be catching you at the Young Club here fairly soon.
Please, every Sunday night at 8:00. Now, when I'm not there, Tim or Kerm will be taking over the show, but I'm going to make as many as I can, but I can't. I've committed myself to something else as well. That
I'm trying to get back up at Ridley's, and you know what? I need to get back on stage, even if it's in front of a few folks and just stumbling through some stuff. You
call me whenever you're going to go out this way, right. And I'll go with you just to give you some support.
God knows I could use a little bit here and there.
Well, I thought we had a good time the last we went to the Comedy Castle. I thought that was a nice night.
Age, like I say, all the support I can get comes in handy. So I mean,
awesome. All right, well, we're done. That's an hour and a half right there. We just did it. We did an hour and a half, 90 minutes. Thank you, everybody. On behalf of Sam, Andy, Jason, I'm gonna hit the button now, and we'll be off here.